mentioned that the place that he's stoned has to be outside the court. It's actually several kilometers away from the court, and on the way is even the last chance that maybe he can get reprieve, I think that's the word. We had this whole thing with the flags in case at the last minute someone reports in the Beis Din and they have a way of conveying a message to the people who take him out to be stoned. Okay? And then we asked him to confess. That was Mishnah Beis. Mishnah Beis, he does a confession, and that way his death will atone for his sin, for this sin in particular, and for the other sins as well. And then when he gets up to heaven, then everything will be plain sailing, hopefully. Okay? That's Mishnah Beis. Mishnah Gimel. This is a new Mishnah. Haya rachet mi beis haskila arba amas. When he is 6 feet, arba amas away from the building that the stoning is going to take place, mafshitim oises begodov. We strip him of his clothes.
He does it naked?
Patient, we'll see. Right? Mafshitim oises begodov. We strip him of his clothes. The Mishnah continues. Is he naked? No. Ha'ish, the man, machasim oisoi milefonov. He's covered in front. Means he has a very meager covering, something like a loincloth, which covers his genitals. Now, the idea of him being stone naked is in order that he should die quicker. He shouldn't have the protection of the fall, because if his clothes cushion his fall somewhat, right, then he runs the risk of not dying instantly. We want him to die as quickly as possible.
What can make such a difference?
Well, you don't know. If you were dying, it's all
like this is gonna
air resistance.
Well, it may do something. That's the point. So we don't want to have any, even 2 seconds longer, more pain. We don't want that. So we want to give this guy a chance to die as quick as possible. Look, he's not dying a very pleasant death.
We're going to try it out.
Right? Yeah. This is considered the most painful form of death, of the 4 deaths that are given to administer.
It's falling?
What? Skila, right? We'll see exactly what happens.
Skila is falling and throwing now.
We'll see. We're going to discuss all the details of it. Right. But in order that he should, whatever has to be done should be as painless as possible, we do him without clothes on. On the other hand, completely naked would be very embarrassing. So we have to weigh these two things up. What does a guy prefer? So we could ask him, yeah, but he doesn't really know until he actually goes through it, and then it'll be too late because he'll be dead, right? So the Beis Din have to make a standard procedure that this is probably in his best interests. So we weigh that up. We say it's better that he should be without clothes. On the other hand, he shouldn't be completely naked, and that's why we cover him in front. Only in front. I mean, his backside is completely uncovered.
But it's bare.
Right. The ha'isha, if it's a woman who's being killed by Beis Din, then it says milefaneha umeachareha, both in front and behind. Because obviously, by a woman, it's more embarrassing, correct. Therefore, that's why she's covered in front and behind, but not more than that. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, that's the opinion.
Chest also?
Well, that's what we're going to see. I think not. I think that the rest of her body is uncovered.
Because these were different times also, no?
Umachari is embarrassing.
They were different times, but it might be a factor. I don't know. I can't tell you whether it's a factor.
No, Umeachorah is from
from behind. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, that's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. So what we've said so far means this distinction between a man and a woman. That a man is covered in front, and a woman only it's from behind, is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Chachamim disagree. They say, Ha'ish niskan arom, a man is stoned naked, meaning, I agree with the idea that his front is covered, but only a man is stoned more or less naked. But Isha, but a woman, ain't Ha'isha niskan arom, she's not naked at all. I mean, they disagree.
So we don't care about her pain?
No, it's not we don't care about her, but the woman's embarrassment, being embarrassed, like you say, she's got a whole chest uncovered, right? So therefore, we don't do that. What we do is, we give her a very thin garment to wear. So yes, it will somewhat, very nominally cushion the fall, but
was it a very uncommon thing, Skila?
The death sentence in all was probably uncommon. I don't think there's any records.
What's an example of something you get Skila for?
Oh, Avodah Zarah, Chilul Shabbos.
So if you were caught being Chal Shabbos, you got Skila?
technically, yes, there's lots of conditions with it. Yes, it has to be there were witnesses. Witnesses warned you. It had
Adultery?
To be, it had to be. No. It had to be that you're the.
But I'm saying it was something that was handed out on a regular basis.
No.
No.
It's very unlikely that it would happen on a regular basis. People continue to do it. It's unlikely people continue to desecrate Shabbos in
And
a
I'm
way
guessing at that
they were
point-
getting caught knowingly when the Beis Din, it probably happened once in 50 years. That was enough to stop people doing it.
Really.
Don't you think so?
People get put to death in America all the time. People still do things.
Yeah, but here it's much more limited. You have to have been warned just before you did it. I mean, two witnesses will say to you, "Do you know that if you do this, the
Right.
basis will kill you?"
Also,
and you have to react and say, "I know, and I'm doing it all the same."
And also in those days, people were much holier, right? Much the level.
That's also the assumption that the standard person wasn't out to desecrate the Torah. That wasn't.
Okay,
his
so what
job.
are the other things? What is Torah?
We'll see. That's what we're gonna. That's all the next few program all about. What you get different death sentences for. Okay, we'll see. So it's also very uncommon because the Beis Din's job was to try and get people off the hook. That was their job. So there's a famous Mishnah in Makos that says a Sanhedrin that kills someone once in more than 7 years,
70, I thought.
more than 1 to 7 years, is considered a destructive Beis Din. And there's another opinion that says 1 to 70 years. There's two opinions in the Mishnah, right? So does
That's a big difference.
does that? I know, I appreciate that, but does that indicate how often Beis Din did it? It's not very clear. It just says it was viewed negatively.
But there's also skila, sreifa,
Oh, there's different ways.
Perek.
Correct. There's 4 different ways, and I don't know any one being more common than the other. No. Okay. So how often it happened? We've no idea.
Everybody had to go watch, right? You were supposed to watch, no?
It was. I don't know if he was supposed to watch. Beis Din wanted to impress on people, therefore they would do it.
In the public.
Yes, in a way that everyone saw. But I don't think you had a chiyuv to go. Right? Beis Din would make a public event of it.
What's something you're supposed? Oh, the bris you're supposed to watch, no?
Bris Milah?
Yeah.
I watch it, but I don't know if there's an Indian to watch it. I don't
I
know.
I've heard so many.
I don't
Have you
know.
ever heard that before? That you're
What?
supposed to watch a bris milah?
Watch a bris milah, yeah.
Yeah.
Schus or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Have you ever
Sounds
watched
like
it?
part
or
of your
watched it?
Hasidic
I can't
Torah
watch
part
it.
upbringing.
I heard.
How do you watch?
What? I watch it.
If there isn't an Indian, then why are you watching it?
Because I want to see how it's done.
Oh.
It's not like it's in India. The only one I almost fainted was my son's bris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I went started to feel dizzy. I've got 4 sons. One of my sons,
The other three, you
and the
like.
guy was a bit of a butcher as well.
Yeah.
Didn't do a good job. Because we lived in Gibraltar at the time,
Oh.
and there was nobody there to do the Milah, except one guy who had
Legitimately wanting
some
to
had experience.
My-
I'm always the one standing in the corner like this.
Supposedly your father's supposed to do it. I've
Right.
heard. And my friend, his father, learned how to do bris milah just as kids.
Yeah, and he
Who?
was good.
What?
What's his name?
I didn't check. I don't
What's his
know.
name? What's his name?
What?
What's his name?
I forgot his name. Why?
I also know something.
There's a famous story with Rabbi Leader that he was at the bris,
Oh.
and he's like looking around and said, "Where's the mile?" Maybe it was Ramosha. I think it was Ramosha. No,
Fine Street?
Ramosha, yeah. So Ramosha says, like, "Where's the mile?" So the father says, "I'm the mile." So Ramosha says, "You're a mile? I didn't know you were a mile." He says, "No, I'm not a mile, but I learned to do it because it says it's better to the father to do it than a mile." Says, "I said, I know that Gemara too. You don't need to teach me the Gemara that says it's better for the father to do it than the mile. I know, but that Gemara means that if the father's a mile, it's better for the father to do it than somebody else. But you're not a mile. You think just because you learned how to do it for this one occasion, that you put your child through the pain. Obviously, it's more painful when a guy doesn't know how to do it than a guy's experienced. So you think you have the right to put the child through this extra pain just because you want to do your mitzvah? It's very nice, it's your mitzvah, but what about him? If you're a mile, okay, maybe there's a better mile. You don't have to get the best mile in the world. You're a mile.
So that was
Oh.
That was the Ramosha didn't like this idea. Lots of Gedolim don't like this idea of fathers doing it. Look, my son-in-law, also he learned how to do it, and then the male sort of did everything, gets it all ready, and the Mo's watching him, look, you have to practice on somebody. Right? Otherwise, no Mo's ever going to, well, you're going to practice on the...
Who gives the class? Like,
You practice on the Schwarzers, you practice on the Arabs, who do you practice on?
I practiced to put tattoos on fake skin. You can do that also.
Yeah. How do you practice doing leader on somebody? You have to practice on
They
somebody.
have fake skin.
yeah, they do
Really?
have fake.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you think I got some? No, I'm joking. I'm not an artist. But they do. They have fake skin.
They have fake
I don't know if they have fake.
They probably
I don't know
do.
if they have.
Probably do, yeah.
Who gives the class on bris milah?
There's teachers. You go Mila class.
Really?
You have to watch it, and then I don't know.
Do they need
My brother-in-law, one of my
Do
brothers-in-law.
they need some medical certification?
Not that no.
No. Why?
I don't think so. I mean, isn't
But it's considered in the Board of Health. They're fine with it. If they weren't fine with it, they'd make a big issue.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it's approved by the Board of Health.
I don't know how it works.
I don't
Of
know. I
course
don't
it's
think it
approved.
would be approved like there's a big thing where these days on social media.
People try to stop them, but it's
Mitzitza
for
b'peh.
sure.
Everyone's very against Mitzitza b'peh on social media these days.
What's that?
It's basically after you get a bris milah,
The mile sucks the blood out in his mouth.
They don't always do that. That's one of the.
We always do it. On the contrary, that's the traditional way of doing it. Some people don't do it that way. That's the traditional way.
It was recently-
Rabbi Leader does it like that. Sure.
Does he?
Sure. Every year,
I-
some lady male does it like that.
I was in.
It's pretty sad because there was one case, and I know this doesn't say it for everybody. There's one case that the baby contracted herpes from that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Next.
Well, you can't have hard conversation.
No,
No,
you can't
no.
have. It's a whole
No.
long. It's a whole long
I-
to do. This has been going on for 200 years. This discussion. It's not like Rabbi Hirsch already talks at length about it.
What?
Rabbi who?
Rabbi Shimshon von Hirsch already 200 years ago in Germany, people were making a fuss about doing Mitzitza b'peh. Right, it's a whole long to do. That you really think the guy had herpes?
What's
Right?
the other option?
We do.
What's the
Thousands
other-
of people have been doing this. Hundreds of thousands of people are doing it. This guy spoke Lashon Hara. That's why. That's why the guy contracted it. The guy watches.
Why can't the guy have herpes?
Could have, but why do you think? You think that you contract it? You know that blood that you suck out there is absolutely clean. I mean, the whole point.
Yeah.
The babies, the blood itself disinfects the area. That's the whole point of doing it. It pulls it out and puts clean blood.
Blood already comes out.
No, you draw out blood which is not near the surface. That's the point. What you're doing is trying to clean the area with blood which is further in, which is not affected by the knife. It shouldn't get there. That's the point.
Suction tools you have to do with your mouth.
Okay, there's yawning. Why they do it?
It's not my thing.
Yeah.
If it's
Okay.
what God wants, it's what God wants. I'm saying, conversation.
All right,
Back to killing people.
let's do.
Back to stoning.
Okay, so we've decided. The Chachamim, this is how halachic. The Chachamim have decided.
to killing people.
The Chachamim have decided, on behalf of all the women who've been killed by Beis Din, that they would prefer that they're stoned with clothes on, or at least some very simple material, not to be stoned naked, because that's so
But at
awfully
that
empowering.
point, who,
You think you don't care? That's exactly what Chachamim is saying. People do care.
if you're about to be thrown off of whatever balcony and you're getting stoned, you're gonna be like, oh, naked.
You don't think it would bother you? Okay.
I don't
So that's
think
exactly. I don't think it's
I
the
don't think
major
that would
focus
be-
of my concern. I'm more
Yeah.
concerned with, but it is
Actually,
something to it.
The Torah, the Gemara, whatever speaks about public comparison. Obviously not equal, but like can be equal. Like
I'm a virus.
Right.
death.
No, but
So
saying
it's a
it-
double death. So then, yeah.
So we don't want to do it. No, adding to the guy's anguish, you don't need to do that, and therefore that's why we do it. Especially if she's a woman.
So why do we have to do different types of death if it's that's also adding to the guy's anguish?
Oh, the Torah says this guy shall be stoned, this guy shall be burned. It says in the Torah.
Why?
We don't make. I don't know. That's God. What?
Because it's adding to the anguish.
No,
Severity,
no,
severity.
because we want. Correct, but on the other hand, that's exactly the delicate point over here. On the one hand, we've got to do what the Torah tells us to do, but we don't have to do more. And that's what we're trying to do. He says, we're actually trying to fulfill the mitzvah of Ahavta L'Reacha Kamocha. He's still Reacha, and we still have to love him, and we still have to, you wouldn't want to go through any extra anguish more than you would needed to. The same thing you mustn't put through any, and that's why we try to limit it to what the Torah demands. The Torah demands we do skila, okay, we'll do skila. More than that, no. And therefore we try to do as little extra as possible. Okay, that goes to the next Mishnah. Beis HaSkila, the building we do the skila from, Haya Gavaya, its height was Shtei komot, 2 stories high. Now, why was it that height? So the Mishnah doesn't explain the reason. Chazal said the reason is because if it was lower than that, then again, there's no guarantee that he'll die when you throw him off a building which is only 1.5 stories high. Right? One second. 2 stories is also no guarantee, right? But if you do it through, no, we're not.
2 stories is not that much. No,
it's not that much, but it's 2 floors. You're throwing him off. You're not just falling off, right? We're throwing him off, and right. And
why don't we do 20 floors?
Oh, good question.
Should that explode?
Oh, that's the point. So then you run the risk of his body becoming all little pieces, his arm, foot, and that's just not nice. It's not nice for him.
It's an embarrassment.
Not nice for him to know that when his body is going to be dismembered as he dies. No, I mean, a person wants to be very respectful.
To know that.
Okay, so that's
to know you're going to go off the second story and
this
he might not die.
is a shikul. It's a balance that we have to weigh between those 2 things, right? So we
but why 2? Why not 4 or 5?
Because then you run the risk of that happening to him once he's
Between 2 and 3.
You have to draw the line somewhere, right? So you would draw it between 4 and 6, yeah, between 4 and 5. Okay, the Mishnah says we draw it between 2 and 3. 3 is
okay, continue.
2 is 3 is already a risk, but that's going to happen.
But was 2 stories the same back then as it is now?
I guess so. I don't reason why it should have been different. People were the same height, probably. So I guess some within the region. I don't know exactly what it is, but you get the idea. The idea with exact details. I don't know. Okay. Echad min ha'edim, one of the witnesses, dochafo, pushes him al mosnov, on his waist.
Wait, the witnesses are the ones pushing them?
Yes.
It makes sense because it gives
That
them
doesn't say that.
it almost gives them one last chance to say no, I was lying.
No,
Well,
they
that
don't
wouldn't
have.
help. Witnesses can't withdraw their
Yeah,
testimony.
we said this 2 days ago with Nidhi.
The Torah says, Yad ha'edim tia boy barishayna, the ones who do the act of the witnesses. I'll tell you what I learned about this, if you're interested in why the witnesses, because this is a very fundamental question, which is why does the Torah mandate the death sentence at all? Why doesn't it just leave it up to God? What I mean is, there's certain things which God does punish. So it says, I will take the life of this person. It's clear in the Torah, certain violations of Torah rules, God takes care of it. And some God decided he wants Beis Din to take care of it. So in some you could say because, I don't know what you would say.
He wants us to be responsible?
But why? That's the question.
Well, because these were the guys that would say, hey, if you do this, you're going to die.
Right?
And so if you have that, you're not going to say it to your mate, even if he's breaking Shabbos, but you're there.
So what?
I don't know, that's like someone's putting onus on the people that are saying it to them, like they know the severity of.
Okay, that doesn't explain why the witnesses are the ones who throw him off the building.
Well, it shows the consequence of
Their
actions,
obligation
because
to
then
be
they could just be like, then it's like,
A disconnect. There's a
It's
disconnect.
not
Well,
obligation
if-
to be a witness.
What do you mean?
Meaning, if I see me and a friend see someone breaking Shabbat, and we warn him twice and whatever, and he still breaks Shabbat, are we obligated to go to
We learned in the Mishnah, yes, there's a mitzvah to
mitzvah, but it's an obligation.
You're obligated to do mitzvahs.
Wasn't between obligation and a mitzvah.
Between like.
You mean you get rewarded if you do it, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
No, the Torah says, Im lo yagid v'nas avodah. If you don't say it, then you will bear sin. That's the words of the Torah.
You will bear sin?
Yeah.
you don't
If you
want
see
to.
something, you have to. No, there's no you have to warn it. There's not, as far as I know, there's no Allah you have to warn it.
You
If
don't
you see,
you don't have to warn someone?
no.
Maybe
If you warn him, you then, in a
I thought
sense,
you have to warn people against.
I mean, you mean as a sense you have to make a machar. You have to tell people they're not supposed to be doing things.
maybe it's
But then though you have to do what we technically qualify as a halachic warning. You know, you say you're not allowed to do this. I have to tell you, if you do this, you're going to get stoned by Beis Din. I don't think you have to go into those
Fine,
details.
if I in today's day see a friend, I saw my friend eat steak 2 minutes
Yeah.
ago, and he's going to eat some chocolate. Could be he forgot. Whatever. I just keep my mouth shut. I don't say anything. Because if he doesn't know, in the case that he forgot, it's not necessarily a bear. It's like
Well, shege, well, I'd say fair. Could be even anus. No, so what's your question?
So I'm better not to tell him.
no.
One second. Where you coming? Better not in order that.
Or that if I do tell him and he does know and he still eats it, it's worse than it.
So yes, that's not so much related to this, but yeah, there is such a concept of mutter shiur shogim b'al mezid. It means if there's a reasonable chance that he's not going to listen to you, then
That's something else. That's most of the people,
So that's what you're saying, no? That's the great, because then you're making him more severe what he's doing, because now he's doing it knowing it's forbidden and he didn't know that before, and that's got all sorts of
So he
rules.
said he knows it's forbidden.
He didn't know he'd forgotten. So in that case, it's reasonable to think that he'll listen to you when you tell him. If you remind him, you just take this.
No, he knows it's forbidden, but you said it becomes worse when someone.
What he knows becomes worse, right?
Warns.
When he warns.
Meaning, someone's breaking Shabbos and he knows not to break Shabbos, right? Versus someone that's breaking Shabbos, knows you're not going to break Shabbos, but like someone goes over to and says, "No, you're not going to break Shabbos," right?
It explains it.
Isn't that worse?
It's worse when he, he continues to completely disregard this very severe warning. Yes, that's worse.
Because then he could be.
But what's your question now?
Death sentence.
Like him disregarding it makes it worse.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's not a reason not to tell him. If you don't want your friend to get killed for it, you probably won't tell him. But I don't know there's an obligation to go around telling people, you should know you do this, you're going to get killed by Basin. I know that if you witness something, then you have to go to Basin and tell
It
them.
has to be a specific act.
But I don't know, even though you see a guy who's doing a specific act of Chilul Shabbos, are you obligated to warn him so that he will get killed by Basin? I don't know. I don't know, such obligation might be, but... Okay, so getting back to the point. The point was, why does the Torah mandate the death sentence? Why doesn't God take care of himself? So I was...
Maybe
Correct, but that's the question. Why is the two things? What I'm trying to say is, the fact that God sometimes... Just a minute. The fact that God sometimes does punish means that God can punish. God doesn't need you. God isn't telling you to do it because he needs you to punish him. God has his own ways of doing that.
Like he said,
Right.
right. Can still fear.
Yeah.
Maybe it's to stop anarchy.
Why anarchy?
Because even though people can think, oh look, that guy just dropped dead. He probably did something wrong. God probably killed him, so he just dropped dead. They're not gonna necessarily internalize it. But if they see this whole perception,
No. You say it better. No one's suggesting that God's going to make people die immediately after doing that. Wasn't what I was suggesting. Why doesn't God make people drop dead when they sin? That's obvious why God doesn't do that.
Chance for
Right, because then you would have very little bechira in your choice of sinning if that would happen. My question is, why doesn't God do it sometime in life? So I think the answer is much more simple. What you're saying is, because then the people who see that would say, well, he died from Altica. It's got to do with the fact he happens to be Mechal Shabbos. They wouldn't make the connection. Okay? All right. Fine, that's true. But some sins, God doesn't care about that. Right? In all the sins that are not punishable by Beis Din,
what sins are not punishable?
oh, many sins. A person eats truma when he's tummy.
A
person
No, Malchus no nothing.
Yeah, but you don't get a death sentence. You get misa b'dei shamayim. No, but you get misa b'dei shamayim.
Everything's
Not everything. I'm saying there are certain things that's misa b'dei shamayim. My question is, certain things God says, I will kill this fellow. Right? And it's not based on his job. So that's my question. You said the reason why God doesn't kill him is because he's worried that he did it to Beis Din because he wants the Beis Din
to show everyone why this person is dying.
So we should do anything that person's going to die for, and Kodesh Baruch Hu should do that.
To instill a government, you can't do this.
Yeah, but that's true about other things as well. That's my question. It can't be just for that because there's other things that God says it's okay. I don't mind that the government should instill fear for these things. There must be some severity. I mean, things which are more severe, God wants to make sure that we do it in order to make. I'm not saying your point is wrong. On the contrary, I'm saying your point, but it's because it's more severe. Things which are more important to God that they're not done. He has to make sure that people don't do it, and the only way to do that is to make sure that Beis Din kill him. Even though God could do it, but then we wouldn't get the message, right? Okay. So now that's the basic idea. Yeah. Now the question: why the witnesses? So why do witnesses have to be involved more than anybody else?
Legitimize it.
Not.
What is that?
I wouldn't say legitimate. I say to give people
What's
understanding that.
Legitimize what? Explain.
Because what's that? If this guy did the Avera, then how do you
The courts
How do you
decided
actually
that he
did
did it.
how do you know he did it?
Courts decided.
How?
Because they had witnesses.
How they were. There you go. That's the point.
So now we know it. Now the question, why are the witnesses the ones who push him off the roof?
Oh, the witnesses. That's
That's what we discussed here. Not why you need witnesses. No, of course you need witnesses. Why are the witnesses the ones who carry out the death sentence? That's the question we're trying to deal with.
Because the witnesses should know how.
Severity.
Maybe it's a protection against Aiden.
But I wouldn't want to be a witness then.
Maybe it's a protection against fake Aiden.
Because they have
I
to
like
know
that,
that they're the ones who
they
can
know
actually
that
kill it.
if you're the one that's going to be an aid, you need to make sure that you're.
Like it kind of
It makes
makes
the,
Number
have a
one.
guy convicted of murder and he'll be killed by the base, then okay, I won't be doing it. But here he'll feel more bloods on his head. Because he's actually the one who killed him.
Oh, someone that sees that for the
Because
future.
he's killing it.
And then when
the witnesses are killing it.
and then it's like because it really turns off people being witnesses. Like
Knowing that you're going to.
kill someone. Like I wouldn't ever be a
Well,
witness.
let's see. I mean, your comment was already dealt with in the Mishnah. And the Mishnah says, when we tried there was a whole Mishnah about scaring the witnesses. I mean, telling them this is a terrible thing you're about to do. You're about to have somebody killed, and this guy's got children, he's got grandchildren, he's got all future generations. They're going to wipe out the whole thing by this. And so Aiden might turn around and say, okay, so well, let's not bother. Right? If the Aiden say that, so we say to them, no, but this is a mitzvah. So it's like, okay, it's a mitzvah, but then we tell them that you don't have to worry about this blood being on your head because the Pasuk says when Rishayim are destroyed, that is a cause for celebration. So it's true that you have this very maybe unpleasant, but on the other hand, it's a big service to society.
You can't see though. In a case that, let's say, someone's going around killing people, yeah, you could see how that's a service to society. But in a case where it's between him and God that he broke Shabbos, you can't see how it's a service to society.
Okay, but you could believe it is. I'm not saying it's not. Yeah, I may make it more difficult. I agree. I'm not saying it's not comments. Yes, but people who believe in the sanctity of Shabbos and what it does for the Jewish people will understand that this guy is flaunting God's Torah, and so long as he's around
Shabbos
here.
is only in public?
What do you mean? It's only in public.
Because I know that there's a big difference between, like, according to halacha, there's a big difference between people that break Shabbos in private versus people that break Shabbos in public.
Correct. But being killed for it, that doesn't make a difference.
Being killed for it.
It has to be in public in a certain sense because if there's no witnesses, you won't get killed for it.
Yeah, but the question is, will we define as public or will we define as private?
I'm saying a certain sense of publicity is the fact there's two witnesses, not more than that.
That's the sense of
that. Yeah, that's all I mean. I'm saying obviously you can't do it on your own because there's no witnesses, so you have to have the witnesses.
So you think two witnesses is the break for public versus?
No, I don't mean anything. No, I didn't mean that. Two witnesses is what you need. But
I'm saying even if there was two witnesses, is like one of the questions of the
severity
debate
is still the same.
Is the one of the questions of the debate then like how many people were there?
no,
No.
there's no
Severity
count
is still
with
the
that.
Two witnesses is enough.
Yeah. I mean, if you do it on your own is enough. Just if you do it on your own, nobody knows about it. So there's no way to convict you if nobody knows about it. It's not less severe just because you did it on your own, right?
Yes, there's
it's just that it's probably misa, but you're high of misa. You just nobody knows about it. That doesn't mean you should commit suicide. No, you don't commit suicide, right? But it's not. I'm saying it's not less severe. I mean, it is in a sense. It's more complex. There's certain aspects of it being more severe because all the people around you are affected by your actions. When you see somebody flaunting the holiness of Shabbos, it affects you. It makes Shabbos less
Sanctity.
what's the word?
Less holy.
Yes, it desensitizes you. And that's one of the reasons why the base didn't want this guy publicly put to death. So all the people who heard about this should have their sensitivity for Shabbos reinforced.
This is only the case of wondering what would happen now.
Now, I mean now. Nowadays,
Yeah.
if we had a Sanhedrin,
Yeah.
So read.
what are you wondering about? You think the Sanhedrin say, oh, we don't believe in this anymore.
be a massacre of
Massacre.
Doesn't have to be. Once would be enough.
what?
Once would be enough. Then there would either be a public uproar and there would be a civil war. But hopefully, based in the Sanhedrin, a Mashiach will be clever enough to
Get around it.
to wait until the Olam will appreciate what they're doing. So they don't have to do things which lead to misunderstanding or not there. That's exactly why the Mishnah says if you do
I
it
think
more.
every single person today that knows about Judaism and breaks Shabbos is it's the most issue, right?
What do you think?
I don't know nothing about Judaism.
I mean, if he should know better, he knows that you're not allowed to do this. He knows that God says this is a terrible violation of His laws. He knows that it carries a death sentence, and still
That
does
has
it.
to be equally to him to know that Judaism is true.
Of course. Yeah. Otherwise, well, yeah. What does that mean? You mean if he just doesn't he doesn't know all that, he just doesn't believe in it all.
He doesn't believe it with certainty.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's also part of an excuse. He didn't really understand that it was forbidden because he just doesn't understand what God is, or he doesn't really understand that this is forbidden.
But in
He's been told it's forbidden, but he doesn't. He
Well, if you're
hasn't
saying that-
internalized it.
If you're saying that, then I would say 90% of people don't necessarily
You're right.
know Judaism. That's right.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, what? How do we then view that situation exactly? You know, when we talk about Tiddish and Ishba and all that sort of stuff, is you could debate, but to say the guy's chayav mitzvah when he doesn't even understand what it means, he's like shogeg, like a person who knows you're not supposed to do it but forgot. So in a way, it's the same sort of thing. He knows it's forbidden, but he doesn't really know because no one's ever explained it in a way that's called knowing. He's heard the information. It says in the Bible. Who wrote the Bible?
So does he have to read the information too? In the case of a Rebbe, no. Not that simple.
Nothing simple. Worry about it when Mashiach comes.
Teiku.
Take it. Okay.
As a
So
kid,
what do we do?
As a kid, I was like, I couldn't stand teikus.
Really?
what to take.
That's why my
Prostitute.
It's still a question.
That's why I went over there. Teiku.
Really?
No,
Do you know what teiku means in modern Hebrew?
Take,
Teiku.
Is when you have a tie in a football match.
See? No. Oh.
It's
yeah,
just-
yeah, it's the same thing basically. No?
Yes, it means. It means we can't solve this. That's what it means. Just leave it. That's what it means. Teiku means leave it, because we don't have a way of deciding this. All right, you ready? So the witnesses. I understood. I've been taught the witnesses are the ones who were most affected by this crime, because they're the ones who saw it. Those are the ones who warned him. They saw. They're the ones who are most affected by the desecration of whatever it was, of the murder or of whatever happened to the person. Those are the ones affected spiritually by it. And if one of the functions of carrying out of this mandate of the Sanhedrin is to kill him, is in order to rectify that problem of people being desensitized to the importance of this thing. So then it makes sense that the people who are most affected should be the ones most involved to undo any damage that this
Add this to their
has done to
spirituality.
them.
You think it was like every case that they were so hesitant? You think if there was a guy that shot up a Jewish guy that shot up a shul?
Jewish guy that shot up shul?
Yeah. Imagine.
Imagine mass murderer.
Mass murder. You think they were still trying to get him out of it?
It's their job to.
I don't know.
Teiku.
No. It's also their job to protect society.
Yeah.
So
How many years ago was the last
I know we talked about the point just a minute. We talked about the point is that the Rambam says that it's true that if we let people off the hook, then we're leaving murders on loose. So why are we more concerned about him than everybody else? Right? Why is basically his job to protect the guy who's being accused of murder as opposed to somebody else? And the Rambam says because one we'd be doing the murder and one he'd be doing the murder. So for society at large, it may be better for us to get rid of him, but then we'd be doing the murder. And that's awful thought that Basin would be murdering someone who's innocent.
It's not murder.
That's exactly what it is. The guy's
The
innocent.
definition of murder, I think, is something else.
Even killing. Basin killing someone who's innocent. You know, the fact that innocent people get killed is an awful thing.
No,
at least the person killing those innocent people is a murderer.
There's innocent and non-innocent. Then you've also expressed the fact that they're actively trying to get him off the hook. They're not sometimes.
No, off the hook means if he's innocent, not if he's really guilty. That's what we're looking for. We're not trying to. No, you could say, what happens to the guy? Listen, one of the guy who we know he's a murderer, but every time he does it in a way that on technicality he gets off. Like, let's say a guy murders without being warned. There's witnesses, but he always does it. He puts earplugs in, right? And that way he can't hear the warning. No, I didn't hear anything. So what will Basin do? So technically, they can't kill him because he's not a murderer. On the other hand, they have to protect society. Okay? So there's a thing, we've mentioned this, a thing called martial law, which is when the law allows the courts to
do whatever they can do.
Right. To not follow the normal rules. And Basin have the same system. Right? Somebody has to now. I don't know.
Yeah, you said it was the king.
Right. So if there's no king, then Basin have to take that responsibility to say, yes, it's true that we not really have the right to do this, but in order to protect society, we'll have to find a solution. So what will he do? So they do what Shane is trying to tell us. They find other ways of killing him without actively killing him, which means that they leave it up to God. Now, how do you leave it up to God? If you put a guy in a room without any food, eventually he'll die. Right? Now that's very, very painful. So we find ways of that way we cause his death. We make sure that this guy is not around for too long to bother society. But that's when we, a common offender.
The expiration date.
We'll learn it later on in the Mishnah. When a guy is a common offender, then we find ways of getting rid of him. In Yiddish, they send in the yolis. No, but we don't do that.
Send in the yolis?
You never heard the expression?
What?
No.
Send in the yolis?
Send in the yolis?
Send in the
It means when a guy refuses to give a get to his wife.
Send in the
He
shambach.
said he feels sackless.
They told the beat of the husband.
Yeah.
Not a famous story.
Probably more than one.
A lot of stories, but
No, there's
Tell
many
us.
ones that they're in jail and stuff, right?
Yeah. But that's
Like I know all their sons.
yeah.
So many of my friends, their dad was one of the person that did it, now he's in jail.
What
the
did he do?
yolis. You know the yolis?
What did he do?
They went to they would go to, basically there would be like this group that would, if a guy didn't want to give his wife a get, they would like beat it out of him.
My mother was in a guna. I
Really?
don't know why I said that out loud.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
And then she got married in Moshe Feinstein's.
You don't say Kiddush?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
I know. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, she was in for like 10 years.
Alright.
I don't know if it was the Yolis that helped the situation, but I don't remember.
Maybe it was a Flatbush girl.
Moshe Feinstein helped the situation. Anyway, continue. Yeah.
Okay, so the witnesses, I'll push him off, or her off, whatever it is.
At the
Okay.
waist. It also doesn't seem very efficient.
And no, I think the point is, it doesn't mean that. It means push him in a way that he should fall on his waist. That's the point.
wouldn't it falling on his head be better?
At first, yeah.
Wait, how do you make him fall on his waist?
I'm not sure. I suppose you push him on his side, as opposed to pushing him forward. If you push him forward, he'll go head forward and bang his head on the floor.
Because I,
Wouldn't that have to kill
Yeah,
him?
but he is like a football, like a spiral.
What?
I'm saying you can't. How do you know how the guy's gonna fall?
I'll push. I'll be pushed up.
Maybe they hold his arms and legs and
Where?
throw him over.
You've been pushed off a roof.
And I fell on my head and not spine.
How man.
Should have fell on the waist.
How high was the building?
Oh, there's a story. One story.
How did they push you?
10 feet?
They
Push
pushed
Was
it
it-
from the top.
Was it on
That's
the
why I was like-
was it on the ground?
Okay, so
So
that makes
what,
sense.
concrete? What did you fall onto?
Like a plank of wood, with nails in it. They went through my knee.
So you're saying it makes sense what they're saying, the push from the waist.
Well, I don't know. I'm not trying to work it up.
By the way, you
You have
should
a
know
live
that
example.
the person is given before he
Drinks.
is stoned. He's given to
Xanax?
drink.
Just drunk.
Shouldn't
Making
be.
drunk.
Well, not completely drunk, but he shouldn't be so
That's kind
aware of what's going on.
That's kind of like missing the point.
Why?
No, the
Like we
purpose
just
is for
said.
anybody that's
Well, it's not for
stealing.
him. It's for everyone watching. The
What?
point is not that.
Oh, so he's not like petrified? Okay.
Yeah, we don't want him to be totally aware. He doesn't have
No,
to
the point of them doing it
suffer
is
so
that the
much.
crowd sees
That is-
him getting killed.
That's the point.
Not that he should go through more pain.
Yeah. Okay, so we nepach al liboy. But if when he fell, he didn't fall on his side, but he's now like that. Okay,
I don't like this.
he's like
Spread eagle.
Right. So that's like not nice. To be hof. What do? We move. We turn him around again. That means hof almost. Then people turn him back. So he's not like sprawled. Right. That's if he's dead. In Meisbar, if he died from the fall, yotza. That's fine. In Lab, almost if he didn't die. Hasheni, the other witness, not the one who pushed him. The other one, Noiter Sa'even, takes a big stone, which was obviously
Huge.
no, which was obviously ready to be stoned. He doesn't go find a stone. Has a stone on the roof, right?
The big stone.
It doesn't say. The point of the stone is big enough to kill him, right? So we hope that the fall would kill him, right?
So he's
But it's-
dropping it from the second story.
Correct. And he's throwing it on him. Now, it says in the words, Noisnoi aliboy. He places it on his heart. Now, I was what that means. He takes it very gently, puts it on his heart. That's a bit silly. There's no point. No, unfortunately, it doesn't mean. It means he aims for it to land on the guy's heart. Right? Not on his head, on his heart. Noisnoi aliboy. In Meisbar, if the guy's dead, Yotza. Yotza means
Good.
we fulfill our obligation. The Imlav, if that didn't work, what do you do? Regimosai b'chal Yisrael. Then his stoning is through all the people around. That means everyone can take part in this, and I suppose everyone has to come along prepared. Right? Otherwise, where are they going to find the stones?
When they have like slingshots.
I have no idea. But that could be difficult because you're going to hit somebody else if you do that.
Yeah, maybe they're all on the roof with big boulders.
Then maybe. I never imagined it like that, but you might be. It means there's a whole group of people ready to
Hand boulders.
third hand. Who hopefully that the guy will die from the fall. If that's not enough, we have the second witness throw a big boulder. If not, everyone else takes a shot. You can say that everyone else might be on the roof. Would make more sense because that way no one's going to get hit. No one else is going to get hit
Yeah.
because he's down on the floor and
Yeah.
the other people on the roof. I know. That's a good question. Never thought about this. Shanema, where do we get this idea that the other people involved? Yad ha'edim, the hand of the witnesses. Tiyeh bo should be against him, bo rishana, at first. Lehamisai, to kill him. Yad kol ha'am, and the hand of all the people, ba'acharayna, is afterwards. Means if it doesn't work, then they take the second go.
Okay then.
Stop there.
Yeah.
Oh
What
my
do we do with him? What do we do with his body afterwards? That's the question.
God.